Welcome back to the Funeral Babe podcast. I'm Christina, here with my co-host
Melissa, your average undertaker, just hanging out. What?
You only did one that time? Every other time you introduce, you have a list.
And you have nothing. Always.
Yeah.
Always.
I have everything.
Yeah.
I have everything. I'm here with you. What else could I want?
I'm glad to be back this
Me
week.
too.
You have a good week?
I had a great week. How about yourself?
Excellent, busy. Everyone's just dying to see me.
I know. I feel like every time I called you this week, you're like, hey, I got a funeral going out. I'll call you back. Like, I think it was yesterday or today or something. I was like, enough.
Yeah, no more funeraling.
Enough.
Yeah, my sister kept texting me. She was like, can you call or are you funeraling? I'm like, I'm funeraling. Like, but I've been in the car a lot, so I got to talk to you, a couple crematory runs, airport runs.
Airport runs, yeah.
It's been good. But I've also had a week, personal week, hanging out, de-stressing, relaxing. And I had really found about Chat GPT.
I love Chat GPT.
So when I've obviously had it. I feel like a lot of people have had it for a long time, but all of a sudden I'm just seeing it a lot more on it, on the internet, different prompts and different things. I made myself into a doll. So cool. The little action figure.
Can I buy one?
No, but to this day, somebody came up to me on a funeral, a little awkward, and was like, wait, can I buy the doll? And I was like, no, it's not real. But yes, with chat. So
AI did that.
AI did it. So I've been getting into it a little bit. I'm seeing a lot of things online, and obviously I'm at work, and everything's tumbleweeding this past week, and gets my thoughts going. And basically what I want to talk about is technology, AI, ChatGPT, and obviously death and dying, because I know it doesn't sound like it's connected, but I feel like it is 100% connected because it's connected to humanity and society. And I think it's something that...
And what do we learn here is that death and life are
all connected. Everything is connected. And I think this is a really, there's so much I have on this. So I'm just going to start off on... what are your feelings on AI?
Let's just be real here. We're talking to a technology illiterate. I'm not. I love ChatGPT. That's my new Google now, and because it's nice because we have conversations. I'm like, thank you so much. You're doing
and you don't
great.
have to go through everything to find what you're looking for on Google. Not what I was looking.
Which is a little crazy to think about too. That's where we're at.
You're just trusting it blindly, in some senses too. Because that's what I feel like. I'm like, do I double check this? Who am I? But
that's good.
Kind of rolling with it. I do. I heard some it. I think it's gotten it's everywhere. Okay, AI, and it's not just ChatGPT. That I feel like is definitely breaking into people's lives to the point where people are having actual connections to ChatGPT. They have they're
I don't mean to laugh. That's not nice.
I'm relationship, and I don't mean they're dating, but it's an emotionally deep, you're my bestie, you know me inside out relationships.
Ask it for everything. It's your therapist.
Therapy, and then it I know from using it, it uploads memory for certain things. So that's also crazy. But
it knows you.
It knows you. And then people are using this as it's everyday thing. And I hear it in everyday lives, even people's lives around me, where it's oh no, I talk to chat every day. And I'm like, wait, what? About your day? I mean, no, that's fine. I'm not saying it's not. But
every day,
it's how much AI can do, even in in the funeral home and at work. So I want to get to that. But even with ChatGPT, and I called you on this because it also has a way of doing things where you can ask it serious life questions, and it's weird. It almost gives me
what have you asked?
It gives me such the ick, I can't explain it. So I saw videos and I was like, oh, let me try it myself. And you ask it basically what is my past lives
At this point, you're talking to the crystal ball. I feel
right, that's what it feels like, right? So and then you're reading and you're like, wow, that sounds like something I probably went through.
Because it's gone through your whole phone and your history and every message.
Well, that's what I'm thinking too. Does it know everything? I've used it for, emails. I've used it copy and pasted for certain things, or even help me out with some stuff. So
updating resumes so it knows your past work
yeah,
history.
and for me personally, I've uploaded, analytics to it from my own social media to be I don't know what I'm doing on technology because I'm just like you in a sense. Can you tell me what this means? So I've uploaded, but how much information is it pulling out? like all of that. Like, I don't know how much it knows, but let me, hold on, this is really weird. So I asked about a past life, so I'm reading and I'm like, wow, that kind of sounds like that could totally work for me. Like, apparently, like, I died when I was younger, in one life, and then another one, like, I was the survivor, and like this whole thing, and it was like, it gets into it, and it's kind of like, it's like an ick. I can't explain it. So then, because I saw it online, and I was like, oh, I have to try it, I was like, can you ask, like, what are my soul contracts with people? And I asked about my sister, who I've never talked to ChatGPT about my sister. Like, there's no reason. Like, you know, like, I don't have that kind of relationship. It's very educational. But so when I asked about my sister, and what it came back with was just like so on point. There's like, one of the things it said, it was like, you're in each other's lives to love each other unconditionally, even though you live like different lives. But it was like, it was so beautiful because me and my sister are so close, and how like it says like we came back in every life together. And in like this lifetime, it's like me and my sister, like we're so much the same, but we're also opposite. We live we live parallel lives in a sense, you know, like she's got the kids, and she, you know, like she's making sourdough bread, like she's doing her, like
everything.
She's doing her, and it just made so much sense. And I was like, this is really weird. I'm like, I have to ask my sister to do it and send me her response, and she did. And we sent it like the same time, and it was just so eerily spot on. I'm like, how?
Is it listening to your conversation?
I don't know, or is it just a prediction, and then this leads you down? Even if it was, it's like astrology, whether horoscopes, all those things, whether you believe in it or not, sometimes they could be fun, maybe they're not. But when you look at it and you get that message, or like, again, going to mediums and stuff, sometimes that could just persuade you like to thinking a certain way, even though...
You think it's like a subconscious thing, maybe? That's
like it's tweaking your subconscious, and it's like leading you the right path. And then it gets me thinking about like, that is not, to me, that's not really an authentic life, right? Like if you're getting all these tweaks, or you're supposed to know the answers, the expectations. And this is on the same thread here, like where it relates back to, in a sense, for me in death is like expectations, in a sense. Like you start going this whole route, you're trying to figure everything out, thinking artificial intelligence is going to tell you the meaning of life and the purpose of life, but it's like your expectations. What if you're not here tomorrow?
There you go.
You know, so like, what are you searching for? Rather, like you're looking for this relationship or relationships or answers with this artificial intelligence, where like your authenticity is within you. So where's the line? Where do we draw a line?
Because we're all searching for answers. I feel like a lot of people in life we're constantly searching for answers.
Makes it feel good.
Yeah, it gives you some sort of validation on maybe a thought. You're like, oh yeah, that is why I'm thinking this way. It's because chat told me the stars were
like we're all
on the
like
left.
I was saying recently, like we're all like diagnosing each other and everything all the time. Like I have this, I have that. I'm too fiercely independent. I'm this kind of woman because of this, and like everything needs a label. And it's like at the end of the day, like maybe that's just like how we all just survived, and like that's what we came of. Maybe we don't need to put like a label on everything.
No, but at the same time, like I use like Dr. Google for anything for myself. Like I'm not going out to the doctors or urgent care. Like if I'm in pain for something, I'm Googling, and it's like, all right, I got arthritis this week. I'll just wear a
You only
brace.
have arthritis. I'm always either dying, pregnant, or have cancer. Every single time. It's just like, you know what? I can't even Google it. Cannot even Google it.
I've just gotten the arthritis. So, but like then,
because you want answers, and that's all understandable.
It's instant gratification. I think that's what a lot of us are searching for too, is the instant gratification.
Instant gratification for everything. But at the same time, it's like where we're losing a sense, can we be, or the thought of it, I'm not saying we are, it's something I question, are we losing a sense of oneself? And are we losing touch with humanity? Because I think the way that this technology comes in, somebody who likes technology, I like the new up to do things, but it's to me, it's some kind of scary. And where it comes and where do we draw a line, and where do we lose humanity, and like the further on.
That's the whole point. I feel like it's just going to be like the robot takeover.
Like if you can't, like if you're grieving, and like I understand that it, you have AI that you could talk to and it can give you all this feedback, but where does that replace the connection of sitting with somebody and staring at each other in that super awkward, this is grief, this is painful, this is sad, this is empathy, this is me being here for you?
Yeah, well, what about the fact like ChatGPT is not coming to your funeral?
I mean, if it's on your phone, maybe he is. Is he a guy or a girl?
I think mine's a guy. Or I go back and forth. It depends on what the topic. And
Oh, okay.
just something like serious, like how to like hardwire an object. That's definitely a dude response.
Like
No.
ChatGPT might write your eulogy because maybe your friend's just lazy and is going to type it all in, which also brings me to AI doing obituaries and all that. You've had
Yeah, I mean, they do everything.
yeah, because like I said, I've used it for emails, but obituaries too?
Most people
Like,
aren't doing obituaries besides people in your field.
no, a lot of families do it. Like you go home and you're like, you want to go write a life story? And yeah, like when I did your dad's, we just did a death notice, meaning we just like listed the survivors. We didn't like get into, the man, the myth, the legend. We didn't get into it, but and that's typical too. But a lot of people, especially not really from this area, probably like down south and stuff like that, they do like obituaries a lot, where they like write their life story. And now, people even suggest it. Like I would suggest it if you want to write, you can use AI. It will, do it and make sure it's in the right format. Just because you're not a strong writer, but it also makes me think like, where's that time that you spent focusing on them? Like, are you losing touch because you're just you're going through this efficiency thing of the perfect eulogy, the perfect structure, obituary, but are you taking the time to sit there and reflect and to think?
Well, I guess you have to give them a little bit of information, but yeah, you're just like sprinkling a little, you're mixing some ingredients, but you ain't baking the pie.
Right. Like with certain, with all that. And it's like also like, are you going for a certain, like aesthetic over being, vulnerable and raw and real with friends?
Authentic, yeah.
Like talking, and having conversations with humans, like experiencing that together over the internet. Even the internet saying like if the internet saying it, if you're like messaging chat and being like, I'm still stuck in grief, they had passed away 8 months ago, and and it's having this whole conversation letting you know that it's okay to handle grief. I'm sure that's what it's saying, that's what it should say, like don't get it twisted, but you're having this conversation, but it's like you could also be talking about that with people, like that connection. And going through that grief is normal. It's like we're almost trying to hide it. And this is another way that we can almost like keep death and all of that stuff hidden, like as society tends to do.
But it's the one thing we all have in common. Like we all die. And
you sound like me.
But it's so true. And like when you literally it's so simple. And it shouldn't be
like you're
so
gonna
difficult.
feel that pain
Yes.
either way, and like why wouldn't we connect like that as humans? Like and we ask for you're asking advice from everybody around things, but like we're allowed to feel things together and there's no right or wrong to it.
No, but you're right. You lose that connection, that human connection, and then that goes like back to like what we've talked about previously about funerals and like what you're going to leave behind. Like if you're just technology driven only and like I don't know, I feel like
legacy, what was it, legacy, your legacy will never be efficiency, it's going to be authenticity.
Exactly.
Think about that. It's not like no one's going to be like, yeah, Christina was awesome at getting back to me on emails.
Which was never true.
That would never be true for me either. I have 92 unread text messages right now. It's like trying to contact me via email. It's terrible. Talking about human connection. I gotta get in it. And right, so even with the funerals and like human connection, one way that I see it, and I think it's a big topic, and I think it's a hot topic in funeral, like
in the chat.
Like the funeral directors
the real
were
chat,
all like the undercover
GPT.
when no one knows about what goes on behind the scenes, because as funeral directors, we're the ones in it. We're the one doing it every day.
No, we don't, like, I don't.
You're not going to go fight for your rights. Like, yeah, you will. You wouldn't go like, I mean, maybe you would, but people aren't out there like saying like you're fighting for what you would want to see in the funeral industry. Like, are you out there taking to the streets being like, I want, audio streaming Zoom funerals, like no. You write in letter, like no, like it is what it is, and when it gets presented, type of thing. And obviously, like any industry that starts, in the business itself, and technology is one of them. I always say, like, I just got rid of a typewriter like 2 years ago. Literally was typing up death certificates still, and then we got rid of that 5 years ago. But I was still doing register books with the typewriter. Okay, like an actual typewriter.
Do you have a computer now?
now we just use the printer, but like it took a long time to get there. And it's like, you see people you go to funeral homes, they're so outdated. Right.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, they never update. And they like funeral directors, they hate change. Like, it's just like slow, and it's like a very slow pace. And now being in it, I can see too, like where there's a lot of holdback, and a lot of it has to do with technology and throughout even years, like where you didn't think you would need it. And with AI coming in, and even just softwares where, you could plan a funeral on your phone.
You could, like, are we at the point now, or are we going to be at a point where like I can like go to Grandma Susie's funeral on my phone? That is sad.
Zoom. So like even during the pandemic when everything
that's what
shut
made me
down, they
think of
had it.
Like, that's kind of
So you have all this
necessary,
tech. What if you could make what are they called? Holographs of your loved one? Imagine you've ever been to. Wow, that's two things to talk about. Disney and death. You ever go to Disney and have you been to Disney? Yeah. And they have the holographs of the people and how crazy good. Imagine you can do that at a funeral home with your loved one who can come back and
sit with you
and have it like tell a couple of jokes.
No.
But like.
We're going to be there.
I don't know. I mean, hopefully not soon, I think, but like it could go there. We're at a point now where you can just literally go on your phone and plan a funeral. Like,
there might be people who might enjoy that, who might want that. Like,
definitely.
That might be like a closure thing too.
People
like,
who are out of the country who want it and things like that. But it also makes you think, one, if you make funeral arrangements online, which, to quote one of my favorite authors, I don't even know if I've quoted him before, but it's the day that you can dispose of mom, as easy it is to order Chinese food on your phone, is the day that we have lost touch with humanity. And like, you have to think about that, right? Like, you can just get on your phone, type in some stuff, get a quote, do this, cremate mom. Like, that's it.
Aww.
Like, and you think about like just only how many years ago you could not do that. You had to go and meet with somebody. And it's also the aspect and the role of a funeral director. And it's somebody, you're coming in and meeting with somebody who can empathize with you, somebody who can walk you through a whole process. That experience alone is so much different than an experience of, opening up Safari on your iPad.
Yeah. But I think that's so sad that that's even a thing. And wait, we said about...
Losing touch with humanity?
No. About being able to... How easy it is to, like, you can go on your phone, plan the whole thing, and the grief, like, that's what I wanted to talk about. Like, how do you process the grief in that way too?
That's to me, like, what happens in the future, in the long run, when we do this. To me, it's almost like we're hiding death even more, because going through that and being present and acknowledging a death, to me, is something that is important. I think it's hard for me to find out when someone passes away and then they're cremated, and then I was just like, wait, so that's it? It's almost like they went on vacation and never came back. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, it's a weird, you miss that closure, and it's a different kind of grief, I think, that I carry with, especially like I had Aunt Lori when she passed away. It was just a different kind of grief. It was just like I never saw her, and you just know that she's not here anymore.
Yeah.
There's nowhere to go visit. There's,
That was it.
That was it. So I feel like with that, like, you need that experience to have the humanity, and like where I see importance in funerals, why I always say like I would want everyone to come, is it's a community showing up. It's people showing up. It's showing up for support, whether you knew the decedent, but it's saying, hey,
with the family.
I'm here for you.
Yeah.
Like to go to a coworker's, grandmother's funeral. We were just talking about this.
Yeah.
I find more people don't even, really go to funerals as much, or don't take the time, or, say, hey, no, I really have to make this a priority to go to so-and-so's, aunt's, mother's, sister's funeral, because it's just, I didn't really know them. I didn't know the decedent.
Yeah.
It's like that. It's not about just the decedent. It's about the people that are mourning too. It's showing up and saying, hey, I'm here. And I know it's awkward. It's always awkward, but that's the humanity in it. And I feel like with AI and technology and all of these things, we're pushing it to a part where we don't even see it anymore.
No, I didn't really think of it before this.
Right? Like you don't think about the whole if you're not thinking about it and you're not planning for it, like, it's a whole
untouched surface that just you're gonna run into it eventually, like the
right. And I feel like you need to have people like in humanity That's what I'm saying. That's what I was trying to get at. You need to have that human and natural connection where I don't think AI can replace it. I think that it's so important in death that we show up together as a society. There was like a president, I don't remember which one it was, but he said, show me how a society takes care of their dead, and I'll tell you what kind of society it is. I feel like that was, I'm not even going to try to quote it. I'm not even going to try and quote it. But when you think about that, it's how we treat the dead, how we take care of our loved ones, how we remember them. We keep hiding it away with all these different things like, anti-aging.
It's run rampant. I mean, everyone,
So you have all of this. Hey, girl, I get my Botox.
I wasn't going to go there. I didn't want to,
I get my Botox,
but that's what I mean. Like, everyone gets...
Anti-aging is shoved down our faces. You have, Instagram, you have Facebook, you have TikTok, all these influencers, beautiful faces,
What about just editing? You can literally edit a picture to make it look however you want. I could have a six-pack abs on an Instagram photo if I really want.
So it's where you're like, I feel like, where's the authenticity in it, And you have, basically what we're doing is showing all these things, and it's like, don't age, don't get older, the reality is that we're not nurturing what is nature. Like, we are supposed to get old, to embrace that and to be able to connect with people on that, not being, completely phoned up. I don't know how to say it. Like, it's not.
It's not. Yeah. Like,
if you're not being real, we're losing connection, and connection with people is so important. I think it's a necessity in life. That's a part of building a legacy, is connection. That's how we survive together.
But going back to the anti-aging thing, do whatever you want. Everyone should be able and entitled to do
Make your own
look
decisions.
however you want. It's it's a personal thing. But what are you putting off? And we're all gonna die. That's it. And if you make it to 100, be proud and be happy that you did that. That's an accomplishment. That's you woke up for 100 years. And
I know that's one of my things too with birthdays is I cringe a little bit for people when they're like, don't celebrate me on my birthday. I hate my birthday. And I'm like,
I love my birthday.
You have no idea how lucky you are to have your 21st birthday, your 30th birthday, your 35th, your 40th, your 70th. So many people did not experience that and wish they could have celebrated those milestones and couldn't. You still have that. Be grateful.
Mm-hmm.
That's such a reward.
Absolutely.
And yes, aging and things like that. I got my Botox, and I'm trying to delay it a little bit, but we do these things and you because you don't want to face the fact that, you're going to age and you're going to die, and that is the reality. I get Botox and wake up every morning and say, I could die today. So I feel like that's a little different.
I want to look good.
Little vain. I literally, I blame that completely 100% on my grandmother, because she was just such a beautiful woman her whole life. Always put together, always hair done, makeup on, heels on, dressed to the nines. She made it a point. She took care of herself.
Absolutely, and that's all.
But it's something that I struggle with. Aging is something I struggle with. I think about it at work. One of my biggest fears when I started, when I started actually doing the work over and over again, was seeing people and seeing what happens to your body as you break down, as you get older and as you get sicker, and to see what happens and just the frailness or how you feel with fluid. It just freaked me out. The wrinkles that you get in places and what will happen to your body. I freaked out. I don't want that to ever happen to me. I used to really fear aging.
Yeah.
And then funny side note, not really, but it's the same thing as feet. Ever since I started working at the funeral home, I just really take it more in consideration to take care of my feet. And I tell other people to, just because I've seen so many feet. And as you get older, just take care of your feet. You have to.
Okay.
Because your feet change and it scares me. I don't want my feet to look like that. And it's gonna, it's gonna, and I don't want it to. So take care of your feet. And that's the same thing aging and that fear of getting older. But you do have to face it.
Yeah.
And relying on any type of technology and stuff, or asking ChatGPT for, how you're going to do this, or having this relationship, are you present? Are you here? Are you being authentic? And I don't know, I think that the AI, technology, all of it, the thing it scares me the most about is humanity in society. Are we losing touch with humanity and having connections? It's even the grocery store. There's nobody check out your groceries anymore. You do it yourself. talking to a computer.
Oh, I always go to the lady because I always have problems with self-checkout. It's always an issue.
Usually, I always say, like, I don't have a job here, so, like, I don't know. I don't work here. But, like, when you go there, it's like, too, like, you know, greeting, you know, your checkout lady and saying hello and having that conversation. I think about people who go to the grocery store and then they use these things. It's like, you don't know if they don't talk to anybody all day long, if they live alone, they have no family. Like, you could be the one person they see. Like, human connection.
That's it, yeah.
And I, you know, also one more thing on that, one more side note on that is like when you think about AI and you think about all those things, it's like, in some ways, are you using it or are we trying to use it as a form of perfection to some degree? And who is making this the form of perfection for a good life? Like, versus what?
You said it earlier, and I didn't want to forget it. You said aesthetic versus authenticity. And I think that's like, we're all following, not we're all, but a lot of people
Society.
are,
Like, when I say we're all, it's not necessarily me or you or, you know, Joan or Jude. It's just saying, like, as society, this is what we tend to do.
Yeah, we're going for the aesthetic, and then you're losing the authenticity.
The real human connection, which is even, like, I have to say, like, even with talking about death and dying, being on TikTok, doing this podcast, it's awkward. Like, it can be awkward. You're talking about things that are very difficult to talk about. We're talking about the afterlife. Like, what do you think? I don't know. Like, is there a right and wrong? Like, they're natural, vulnerable conversations that nobody taught us how to have.
No.
That doesn't mean that we shouldn't have them with each other. But, like, I feel like people are also taking it to talk to AI about what it's like we could be connecting
with each
as
other.
a society and be trying to grow together as a society and figure out what functions best for, you know, even just in your own small knits of circles. Like, you know, I don't know, my parents wouldn't want me to be like chat GPTing how to be a better daughter or something. No. Who else would mow their lawn then? Chat wouldn't tell me that. I'd be like, paint a card. You know? So I don't know. I think that's a big up for debate discussion always is
it's like
where you draw the line.
We're in a technology world and it has taken over, and it's great in some ways. I mean, I can't survive without technology. I've come here how many times and I still need to use the GPS.
But like, just even, I had to think back on it, but just even imagine, like, you start going to funerals, but being like, yeah, I'll log in. Like, you know, like, oh, they took attendance. That's how you're going to get your thank you card. It's going to be an email. It's like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't replace a hug.
No.
So, I don't know. Something to think about. I think about it at the funeral home all the time. And I think about, like, just connecting with the families and, you know, even with grief. And it scares me a little bit. But we'll see where it goes.
I know.
Roll with the flow.
Go hug somebody today.
That's what we do. It's not like I'm still going to ask ChatGPT for all my educational questions.
Absolutely. That's what I mean. Like, we still need technology.
So much fun to learn. Like, I think it's so much fun to learn
Just stop
stuff.
asking it, like, crystal ball questions.
Yeah, no, that was
think.
little gave me the ick a lot. Didn't really like it. And it didn't feel comfortable. And it was just really weird. We're not talking about that again. Anyway, thank you for tuning in. I hope you comment, like, share, definitely subscribe. Definitely subscribe. And we'll see you next week on the Funeral Babe podcast.